Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy YBP Gang, YBP Nation, YBP Boxing, YBP MMA. Coming at y'all with another full fight breakdown, full fight prediction. Today we're going to be talking about the matchup on UFC 296. Paddy Pimblett going up against Tony Ferguson. I think 296 is headlined by Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. So, that card's looking like it's going to be, a banger. I think the co-main event is Brandon Royval versus Alexander Pantoja. There's some other fights on there. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to be on that card as well. I'm going to be dropping a breakdown on that soon. I was going to record that now, but I'm still going back and forth on like who I think's going to win, just because I'll talk more about it when I drop the video. But I'm just not too. I like to watch a little more tape and especially I'm just doing a one fight, a singular fight prediction, not a full card prediction. I want to be a little more well versed, so I'm still going back and forth on whether it's going to win that matchup. But besides the point, we have Paddy Pimblett and Tony Ferguson. Paddy Pimblett, he was on a bit of a run, up to this point. I think a 5-5, 6-5 win streak, something like that. But the last fight with Jared Gordon wasn't too impressive. People weren't impressed with that performance. I thought he lost the fight. I'd probably say every round, probably 30-27. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I don't really like to feed into conspiracy theories your Dana White made this happen, all this stuff. I don't think that's really how this stuff works. I think it's more just bad judging that it's rigged. But I think that was overall the better scenario. I mean, because I don't necessarily not to say. I mean, okay, if Jared Gordon won fair and square, he deserves to get the win. But no one's clamoring over Jared Gordon stealing Russell's hype up to this point. It just doesn't do anything for the UFC. So, you got a guy in Paddy Pimblett who has all this popularity, but not necessarily the skill to coincide with it. So, hopefully he can catch that up. That was the big thing with guys like Conor McGregor and other people. They had the hype and they had the skill to kind of go with it. Paddy just doesn't seem to have that. So I think this fight's a lot more competitive than people are making it out to be with Tony Ferguson. Paddy's not the best striker. Leaves his chin up in the air to get hit. And he's been rocked a couple times in his career. And Tony, up to this point, he's honestly hitting pretty hard. He knocked down Chandler in the first round of their fight, knocked down Bobby Green in the first round of their fight. So they say that the last thing to go is power. We see that, his power's still there, 100%. Grappling's still there. He's still semi-decent. So if Paddy's gonna win, it's gonna have to be by decision. I would say it's hard for me to see him. Maybe he could submit him, but he's not. I don't really. It's hard for me to imagine a world where he knocks him out. He could, but I think Paddy by decision. I think it's just gonna be a way tougher fight than people think. Tony's still tough. Honestly, up until this point in his career, Chandler, that kick is knocking anyone out. And then the Green fight, he took a ton of punishment. Still, kept coming forward. It's only when he got submitted, late in that fight, but that was on trade to go to a decision. So, yeah, just looking at the fight, Paddy, maybe if he can make some improvements, maybe the fight will be a little more lopsided. Maybe you can go out there, spark Tony, but up to this point, I think this is one of the more competitive matchups you can give Tony Ferguson up to this point in his career. I've heard some people say hey man, he doesn't deserve this. He deserves a veteran or something like this. But what veteran do you give him necessarily? You already gave him Nate Diaz and he got submitted. You're gonna give him Jim Miller. Jim Miller would spark him out, So I think Paddy Pimblett, it's a big name, a big spot, and neither of them honestly are the best opponents. So I think it's not a bad fight for Tony Ferguson necessarily. It's not people are already writing his grave. Most likely he'll probably lose, but I think the odds are a little off. They're heavily favoring Paddy Pimblett, and I think they should definitely be closer. But at the end of the day, I got to go with Paddy Pimblett. I got to go with the younger guy by decision. I don't think he finishes Tony Ferguson. That's all I really got for y'all today, though. Leave a like on the video, subscribe. Peace out, most guys. You already know what it is. Boom.